Have you ever noticed how easily our hearts can shift from pure intentions to hidden desires? Especially when the world begins to watch us. In an age of social media likes, promotions, and recognition, how often do we find ourselves doing something not for its true meaning, but for the applause it might bring? The Mullah's lesson: ego versus true intention. The Mulla was a man of deep devotion, known in his town for his heartfelt prayers and sermons that seemed to touch the very soul of those who listened. His words were not polished for performance. They were simple, sincere, and carried the fragrance of truth. People gathered in small circles around him, not because he promised miracles, but because his presence reminded them of something greater than themselves. As time passed, his reputation grew. Whispers of his wisdom reached the ears of the governor of the province, a man accustomed to grandeur and authority. Curious, the governor began attending the Mullah's gatherings. At first, he sat quietly at the back, listening to the chants and reflections. But soon, his presence became impossible to ignore. The crowd noticed. The Mullah noticed, and slowly, something subtle began to change. The governor, moved by the sermons, approached the Mullah one evening. "Your words have given me peace I did not know I needed," he sighed warmly. "Tell me, is there anything I can do to repay you?" The Mullah paused. His heart wrestled with itself. Once, his prayers had been pure offerings to Allah, rising like incense into the sky. But now, with the governor's eyes upon him, a new thought crept in. What if my devotion could earn me favor? What if my words could secure rewards in this world? He realized, with a pang of honesty, that his motives were no longer untouched. The presence of power had shifted the axis of his heart, so he bowed gently and replied, "Your Honor, if you truly wish to help me, then please stop attending my gatherings for a while." The governor was startled. "Have I offended you?" he asked, his voice tinged with concern. "Not at all," said the Mullah softly. "The fault is mine. Before you came, I prayed only to please Allah. But now, I find myself praying to please you, hoping for your approval, perhaps even your reward. My devotion has become entangled with my desire for recognition. I need time to cleanse my heart, to return to the purity of worship. When I am ready, I will invite you again." The governor stood in silence, humbled by the Mullah's honesty. For a man of power, it was rare to hear such vulnerability. And for the Mullah, it was a moment of courage to admit that even the most devoted can be swayed by the subtle whispers of ego. In our modern lives, the governor's presence is everywhere. It may not wear a crown or hold political power, but it appears in the form of likes on a post, praise from a boss, or admiration from peers. How often do we begin something with pure intention, writing, working, loving only, to find ourselves slowly performing for the audience instead of the essence? The Mullah story is a gentle reminder. Purity of heart is fragile, and the ego is patient. It waits for recognition, then quietly shifts our motives. So let us ask ourselves, am I doing this to please the eternal, or to impress the temporary? When recognition comes, do I lose sight of why I began? Can I pause, like the Mullah, and realign my heart with what truly matters? Life today is full of noise, but the invitation remains timeless. To return to sincerity, to live with motives as clear as morning light, and to remember that the deepest rewards are not found in applause, but in peace.